Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Arc Sense. So it's 2023, early 2023, right? And you made a New Year's resolution to yourself that you're going to smell better and look better, especially in the work environment, because as you all guys know, us working people, we spend majority of our time in the workplace, and that's surrounded by other people, your teammates, your team members, your peers, whatever the case may be. And you don't want to be that guy, right? That just smells bad or just looks bad, just out of place, and just not get that respect that you should be getting in your work environment. So what I've done today is I made a top 10 list of office-friendly fragrances that I highly recommend you start off in 2023. And perhaps maybe as time goes by and new products come out, we'll add to that list. But for right now, beginning of 2023, these fragrances are going to give you the mass compliments you are looking for, especially from the opposite sex, right? You need those compliments. That's why you're trying to smell good. And it's not going to choke anyone out. It's not going to be offensive. I guarantee you that. And you're actually going to be pleased with these fragrances I show you today. But before we start into that, guys, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have over 80% of you guys that watch the channel are not subscribed. So please help the channel out. I'm trying to grow as fast as possible. Hit that like button. Also, leave a comment too. Let me know if you agree with this list and perhaps maybe I left some out. Let me know in the comments below and let the other people that watch the show know in the comments below. So without further ado, let's get to number 10. Okay, at number 10, we have Dior Homme EDT. And oh my gosh, I absolutely love this fragrance. I would say this is probably one of my favorite fragrances from the Dior line. It smells so good. So fresh, so clean, but yet you still have that base. It smells like you just stepped out of a shower. I mean, it smells really good. It's masculine, it's clean, it's fresh. It's a home run, a can't miss fragrance that is very safe for the office. And I guarantee you that. I guarantee you're going to get mass compliments from women all the time. I already have in my office space because this just smells so good. And just to put it out there, right? Dior Homme EDT, they also make a formulation for a shower gel, right? Sometimes you get these in these gift packs during Christmas time, and I'm just going to let you guys know, if you have a shower gel from the same formulation or same scent as the cologne or fragrance itself, you know it's a fresh, clean smell. At number 9, I have Armani Code Parfum, and this is one of those new releases for late 2022. Man, this smells so good. Got that powdery base, semi-sweet but masculine. It smells very clean, very fresh. You have great notes like bergamot, iris, clary sage, cedar. It's a great flanker from the Armani Code line. In my honest opinion, I think the Parfum model is the best flanker in general, and overall ever made for Armani Code. Projection is great. You're going to project around maybe 3 to 4 feet. Longevity, this is going to last on your skin for over 8 hours. It's a great scent. Very pleasing for the office use. You're going to get a lot of compliments from women. It's a beautiful scent that I highly recommend. Unfortunately, they're not at discounters yet because it's so new. But then again, it's such a great buy, and I really think it's worth the money. And oh yeah, it comes with a magnetic cap. Anything that comes with a magnetic cap, I think it's a winner, and you should add this to your office fragrance collection today. Now, this next one is going to be a curveball to a lot of you guys, and I guarantee you probably never even thought about this fragrance being office safe. And what is that fragrance? That is Chanel Allure Homme Edition Blanche EDP. I absolutely love this. This is one of my favorites in their whole line. A beautiful flanker, especially that citrus, lemon, creamy vanilla opening. It's very strong. It's very mass appealing. It smells really good, almost tart-like. It's just a very pleasant, has its own personality. It's masculine, it's beautiful. You have notes like lemon, sandalwood, vetiver. But at the surprising end, when it dries down, it actually smells like Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. So it has the DNA of Chanel Allure Sport Eau Extreme. I hate saying that, it's a long word. But it has its own personality with that lemon opening, that creamy lemon vanilla, and it's perfectly safe for office use. The only bad thing about this that I would complain is you're only probably going to get around 6 hours of performance, and after maybe 3-4 hours, it becomes a skin scent. But I think that's appropriate for the office space, especially tight spaces, cubicles, meeting in small rooms, stuff like that. This is going to be non-offensive. It's not going to choke anyone out. You're going to get a lot of compliments from women because the women that gave me compliments seem to like the lemon smell, that citrus, vanilla, creamy smell. Now, is it blind buy worthy? Oops, let me get fun. Is it blind buy worthy? That's something you probably have to put your nose on, but it is mass appealing, mass pleasing. Let me just put it out there. And once again, if you like Chanel Allure Homme Sport ou Extreme, you're going to love the Edition Blanche, especially if you're a big fan of lemon. This is one to really take a hard look at for Office Fragrance 2023. Ad number 7 is one of my favorites from YSL, Yves Saint Laurent, and that is Yves Saint Laurent L'Homme Original OG Gangster. This is a beautiful, beautiful scent, and it's perfectly safe for the office. And why do I say that? It's because I actually have a couple coworkers that actually swear and use this as their signature scent. And you have great notes like ginger, lemon, pepper, basil, cedar, and vetiver. It goes really well with a well-dressed man. It's not offensive. You're going to get a lot of compliments from women because I know my buddies that wear these have received a lot of compliments from the women that work in their office space. It's a great, great fragrance, and it's not too expensive. Performance, you're going to get anywhere from 7 to 8 hours of longevity, just depending on how many sprays you put on. And after maybe 4 or 5 hours, it becomes a skin scent. But once again, that's appropriate for the office. You don't want to be too brash, and you just don't want to smell like cheap cologne, cheap fragrance, which this does not smell like that. You're going to get a lot of compliments, I guarantee that. I highly recommend that you look at this fragrance right here for office use 2023. Now, this next fragrance is going to be totally different from the ones I just showed you. It's not going to be fresh. It's not going to be that clean smell, but it's going to be more of a darker smell. And what is that fragrance? That's Dolce&Gabbana The One EDP. And this is probably my favorite flanker from the whole line. I absolutely love Dolce&Gabbana The One. And a lot of you guys are probably going to say, hey, wait a minute, Nick. Isn't this fragrance more appropriate for the winter, fall, and nighttime use? And yes, you're absolutely right. It can be totally used for those time periods. But in my honest opinion, all right, because I know this, I've done this at work. I've worn this at work, and it actually goes really well with the work environment just because of the projection is not as strong as, say, some of the other fragrances I've shown you. So it can be more of a skin scent after several hours of use. Longevity, you're going to get about 7 hours on your skin depending on how many sprays you put on. And it's a more romantic, seductive, but safe for office use. You gotta believe me, all right? I highly recommend you try this in the office. You're going to get compliments from women because, man, this is a compliment magnet. If a woman really catches your drift and you're walking by and she smells this on you, she's going to be like, hey, Nick, why don't you come and work with me on this next project, or show me how to use this Excel spreadsheet. I mean, it's going to get like that, I guarantee you. But anyways, you guys check this out for Office Fragrance 2023. Now, if you notice, I have not included any niche fragrances here. I just wanted to make this a designer, but a lot of people will probably say, hey, Nick, why don't you include Creed Aventus in your list? And rightfully so. That is a great scent. I think it's very appropriate for office use, but I wanted to keep this as a designer list only because I feel like designer is a little bit more affordable and it's easier to get to. So my next one is going to be Montblanc Explorer, and a lot of people will say this is a Creed Aventus cologne. And yeah, you have some argument for that. I mean, yeah, it does have a hint of Creed Aventus in it, but the smoky dry down that Creed Aventus has, this does not, in my opinion. It's more of a masculine, clean scent. I mean, you do smell that Creed Aventus in the opening, which I think is appropriate, and there's nothing wrong with that. Believe me, guys, there's nothing wrong with that. This is cheaper. It's much more available. Its projection is really good, probably around 3 to 4 feet. Longevity, 8+ hours on your skin, depending on how many sprays you put on. And you have great notes, too. It smells expensive. You have bergamot, clary sage, vetiver, patchouli, and cacao. It's a great, great fragrance from the House of Montblanc. I mean, you're going to get a lot of compliments from women for this because I myself have received a lot of compliments wearing this fragrance. It's just a masterpiece, man. It smells so good, and I love the price. You can get a discounted price right now. This is what you need to look at, people. An office fragrance video will not be complete unless you include Acqua di Gio. That's just the name of the game. That's one of the rules, underlining unsaid rules that all of us YouTubers know. But I didn't include Acqua di Gio. Instead, I included Acqua di Gio Profondo, which I think is a better flanker than Acqua Giorgio. It's a great, great fragrance. Smells very youthful, smells very Acqua Giorgio DNA. I mean, you can totally tell this is from the line of Acqua Giorgio, but it's more lively, more uplifting. It's more professional in my opinion, cleaner. You have great notes like green mandarin, cypress, lavender, musk, amber. It's a great fragrance. I feel like it lasts longer on my skin. I get about 7 to 8 hours of longevity, projection. This actually has pretty good reach. You'll probably fill up a room, honestly. So be careful on how many squirts you put on, especially if you put on squirts in your car before you walk in and you clock in at work. I wouldn't really recommend you do that. Maybe do it an hour earlier, spray it on an hour earlier before you go to work so it has time to kind of settle down. But this is a beautiful flanker, and rightfully so, man. It's one of the high quality, high selling, best selling lines Acqua Giorgio has. Honestly, I think it might be outselling the original OG Acqua Giorgio. But yeah, very, very office safe. You're going to get a lot of compliments from women because everyone loves Acqua Giorgio. This next fragrance should not be a surprise to anyone. And what is that fragrance? That's Bleu de Chanel Parfum. I absolutely love this. It's my favorite flanker from the Bleu de Chanel line. I love it more than the EDT EDP because it's darker, it's deeper, it's dense, but still has that Bleu de Chanel smell, that very mass appealing, mass pleasing, almost blue-like fragrance. You can wear it any time of the year. You can get a lot of compliments. A lot of people love this. It's a great selling fragrance that's still like, it's one of the top selling fragrances of all time. You have great notes like bergamot, mint, lavender, pineapple, sandalwood, and tonka bean. It's a great appropriate office wear use. You're not going to offend anyone. Once again, you're going to get a lot of compliments from women. And it's just a great smelling fragrance that you can use, once again, year round, any occasion, period. It's just one of those things that you just need to own, in my honest opinion. Smells so good. Yeah, Bleu de Chanel, appropriate for office use. At number 2 is probably my most complimented fragrance of all time, period. My whole life, I've received the most compliments when I've worn this fragrance. And what is that fragrance? That is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. And yes, you knew I was going to include this in the list as well as Bleu de Chanel because it's one of those fragrances that honestly every man should own. It smells so good, so modern, so classic. It smells masculine, it smells fresh. You have great scents like orange, mint, sage, pepper, musk, and cedar. It's a great combination, a high-selling fragrance. Once again, mass-pleasing, mass-appealing, appropriate for the office space. You're going to get a lot of compliments, once again, from a lot of women. Trust me with this for sure because I've received a lot of compliments from women, and I'm an ugly person, right? But when they smell this on me, they're like, "Ooh, Nick, what are you wearing?" And I'm like, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme, baby. That's how good it is. I mean, I highly, highly recommend this. And finally, the last fragrance I highly recommend for office fragrance 2023 is one of my favorite from the Prada line, and that's Prada L'Homme Low. And no, this is not the regular Prada L'Homme OG because I feel like that's a little bit more sharp. It might be a little bit offensive to people in the workplace, but this is a toned down version, and this is actually, in my opinion, a better smell than Prada L'Homme Original. You have great notes like neroli, ginger, iris, sandalwood, and that dry down. It's clean, it's powdery, it's fresh, it's very masculine. You're going to get a lot of compliments. It almost has a soapy smell to it. Some people say it smells like you just stepped out of the shower with a nice high-end soap. Very appropriate for office use, especially if you work in a tight confinement with a team and you're in cubicles or perhaps your meetings all day. I love the bottle, how it has that leathery, surrounding on the bottle itself to give you traction. It's a great, great bottle, great fragrance, great house. One of my favorites in the whole Prada line. I highly, highly recommend this. But guys, thank you so much. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree with me. Let me know if I left out any fragrances. List them down in the comments. I would love to hear your opinion. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, all that good stuff. I love every single one of you guys. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.